Welcome to another episode of Me, My Wife, and Sports. I'm your host, Fitz, with my lovely co-host, Darcy.
Hi.
All right. Well, March Madness is in full swing now. They had the Bracketology on Sunday night. And I guess, is there any surprises to you as to what the selection committee picked? But before you address that question, I just want to let everyone know about the selection committee, because I know we brought that topic up, like who are these people and all that. And I did some research, and there's 12 individuals on the selection committee with one chairperson and a vice chairperson. And their backgrounds vary from commissioners of a conference to athletic directors and so forth. So with that said, I will just go down the list of the names and their conference that they're part of. Charles McLeland, who is the chairperson, and he's the SWAC commissioner. And actually, in 2024, his time will be up for that position.
If I ain't SWAC, who is SWAC?
Jamie Pollard, who's Iowa State athletic director, and Jamie's time will be up in 2024. Scott Barnes, who's Oregon State athletic director, whose time will be up in 2024. Bubba Cunningham from North Carolina athletic director, who is also the vice chairperson. Bubba's time will be up in 2025. Mark Coyle, who's a Minnesota athletic director, his time will be up in 2026. Greg Burney, Alabama's athletic director, his time will be up in 2026. Keith Gill, Sunbelt commissioner, his time will be up in 2026. Barry Collier, Butler athletic director, his time will be up in 2026. Martin Newton, Samford, with the M, Samford, not Sanford. Samford athletic director, his time will be up in 2027. Tom Wissill, he's the Big Sky commissioner, and his time will be up in 2027. Arthur Johnson, Temple athletic director, his time will be up in 2028. Renee Baumgartner, who's the Santa Clara athletic director, time will be up in 2028. So that's your NCAA tournament, men's tournament selection committee.
I feel like if Bubba is on there, I ought to get on there. I mean, no disrespect, Bubba, but
well, let's see.
I'm just saying.
Bubba is from North Carolina, so I guess the South, sort of, so hey. Now, whether that's his real name, I don't know. But I'm assuming, since it looks like they had everybody's government name, that might be it.
Did they have any women? Did you say any women?
Yes.
Who was the
women, Renee Baumgartner, and now Jamie Pollard, that sounds like a woman, but it could be a man.
Jamie Foxx sounds like a woman.
That's what I'm saying, but it could be a man.
Okay.
And I thought it was one more. Those are the only two.
So we're not sure.
One for sure, Renee Baumgartner.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure is a woman. Jamie Pollard, I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. I think the NCAA, y'all might need to call me. We can diversify the selection committee. I'm available. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Now,
I know we talked about the South Carolina and LSU altercation, and you said
that was the woman.
Yes, and you said you weren't up on it. I'm assuming you had time to.
Yes, I went back and looked at it online, and I think South Carolina let, who are they playing?
LSU.
I think they let LSU get in their heads, and our individual players let the other team get in their head, because the people that were involved, the South Carolina player that was actually involved didn't seem to be affected and actually handled the situation properly, walking away, just kind of not paying any attention to it.
Right.
And then someone else came in and took it to a different level. But at the end of the day, everybody issued the proper apologies, and I think it was handled properly.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Everybody was able to move on, and hopefully some lessons were learned.
Right. And, we started fresh here with the NCAA tournament, which I'm not sure if LSU was in it, but I know, of course, South Carolina, they got a number 1 seed.
The women have to keep in mind, you're not in a position anymore where you can say nobody's watching, the stands are empty. That's not the situation. Everybody's watching and the stands are full.
Correct.
So you've got...
Especially if you're winning.
Especially if you have an undefeated season.
Right.
Everybody's paying attention. You're on prime time, national TV, and all eyes are on you. So you can't afford to get into those types of situations. In this situation, South Carolina and LSU, they have high-profile players.
Right.
Come on, ladies.
Right.
You guys are role models.
Definitely.
Rise above.
Definitely. And granted, this is a real competitive sports game, but in certain circumstances, life gets competitive. And how are you going to react?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to, push your boss down and...
Well, you can.
and have your brother jump over, the table to jump in the fight. Like, that's just not real life.
Right.
Or whoever that guy was that tried to jump in to help,
Right.
with the police officer following behind him.
Right.
Police officer, the police officer will be following behind, but it's
Right.
not going to turn out probably like that situation did, where they just escort you out the building.
So true.
You
so
will
true.
get escorted out, but there will be repercussions.
Definitely. No doubt about that.
So,
all right, great. Well, let's move on to our bracketology. Now, as I mentioned, we had our selection Sunday, and to me, there wasn't any major surprises. But
come on, okay, are you really gonna say
well,
that?
to me, it wasn't.
You got the button. You got the fan button over there. Hit the fan button first. Let me see. You got it ready? You know which one it is? Where the applaud button?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's be sure, because
I know.
You're new to all this.
No.
Okay, so to our audience, you have to understand that, and to those of you who know us, you all know that we have this big framed jersey, and I'm not talking about the cowboy one.
All right.
I'm talking about the one that has a certain name on it.
My name? Yes.
That has his name on it in red, white, and blue?
Yes. Well, the colors are red, white, and blue, yes.
Taking up half of the wall?
I don't know about the half of the wall.
It's a big frame, y'all. And it was heavy. So there were some surprises.
And just so everybody knows, she's trying to talk about Duquesne University, which I knew they were having an excellent season.
Oh, you did?
So
Did you know that for real?
I did. I was following them.
So it would
Go
go,
Duquesne. Dukes.
it would go like this, coming to you live from Pittsburgh. Isn't that where Duquesne?
Yes, in
coming to you
Pittsburgh.
live from Pittsburgh
There.
at 5'6", hailing from Michigan.
I'm not 5'6".
I'm sorry, 6'5".
Okay, get it right.
Hailing at 5'6", hailing from Michigan.
There you go with 5'6" again. What is
I don't
stuck
know
on
why
5'6"?
Why would I say 5'6"?
What, you
At
dyslexic?
Yeah, I am. I do have that problem. Don't talk about dyslexia.
Okay.
At
with numbers.
At 6'5", hailing from Michigan, at center, right?
No. This is college. Forward.
Forward, okay.
Small forward at that.
Our co-host, y'all. That's what I'm getting at. Back in, what year was it?
1982 to 1986.
So even back then,
So what's your point?
they didn't make it.
But they made it this time. And
it was a surprise.
No, they had a good team. Like I said, they were 20-something, 27-11, I believe. And they were playing excellent all through the year. They had a well-balanced team.
They were up at the half.
It's how you finish the game.
Wait a minute, though. There's a point.
Okay.
They were up at the half. What was it? 30. They had a lead of how many points at the halftime?
12.
Was it just 12 points?
Just 12.
And they interviewed the coach, and they asked the coach how things were going. And he said, it ain't enough. And they cut back to the studio, and the announcers say, well, my goodness, he's a hard coach.
That's right. It's never enough until that buzzer sounds.
Well, we know why.
Exactly.
Watching the game.
He had the foresight.
Yeah.
And I hate to see him go. As you know, it's been announced that he will retire at the end of the season. So hopefully they'll go far and do well.
Well, that was a surprise, but it was a good game.
Exactly. And that's what counts, as long as they're a good game. So actually, there were a lot of good games during the conference playoffs and a lot of upsets, which surprises me because, you want to get yourself ready and geared up going into the March Madness piece of the NCAA tournament. And there were a lot of number one seeds that end up losing.
Yeah. Houston.
Yeah. But Connecticut, as I've been saying, been on par. And since I'm talking about Connecticut, might as well just jump into my brackets. All right. Now, I'm going to start off with the East. Now, Connecticut was the number one seed, and they're playing Stetson, who's the 16th seed. And, of course, I picked Connecticut to move forward to round 2. All right, go ahead. Who did you pick? Connecticut in the East.
Yeah.
All right.
Who wouldn't pick Connecticut over Stetson?
I don't know. And then not San Diego, but FAU and Northwestern. I picked FAU to beat Northwestern. We're still in the East.
Yeah.
And then San Diego State to beat UAB.
Yeah.
And, San Diego State last year, as we know, made it to the championship.
Yes.
Even though they're a 5 seed, I still think they got a lot of good pieces still on the board, which can make them real competitive. So I picked them to beat UAB, which is a 12th seed. I picked Auburn to beat Yale, which they should.
Okay, well, instead of doing it this way,
Okay.
tell me this. Who's your Cinderella?
North Carolina State.
Okay, in the South. I guess, okay. What about the Midwest?
Oh, really? That's my only Cinderella.
Your only one?
My only
in the
one.
whole tournament?
In the whole tournament.
Really?
Really? Because I guess when you say Cinderella, like North Carolina State is 11th seed.
Right.
And to me, anything above a 5 seed, I don't consider it Cinderella. Like a 5 on up, I do not consider a Cinderella.
A 5 on up wouldn't be a Cinderella.
Exactly. And
a 10 on up is really not a Cinderella.
Yeah, true. Because most of them are 15, 14, 16.
Right.
That's why I say North Carolina is 11th seed. And that's really I consider my Cinderella.
So in all the other divisions, everybody you picked is 10 and up?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
So no.
Now.
What about Oregon and South Carolina in the Midwest?
Oregon and South Carolina.
In the Midwest.
Okay. I picked South Carolina.
Yeah. South Carolina didn't look that good to me. I think Oregon can take them.
I don't think so. I really don't. And it doesn't matter because I think whoever wins is going to meet up with Creighton.
Right.
And Creighton's going to do it.
Going to move forward.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about McNeese, which I don't even know where McNeese is.
You still haven't looked it up? Huh?
I didn't look it up. But I picked them, so I probably should really go look it up.
You should. Did you pick James Madison?
Okay, wait a minute. Where is James Madison? James Madison is in the South. I picked James Madison over Wisconsin.
Well, it's funny.
Ooh, Wisconsin, too, yeah.
I'm not impressed. I'm a Big Ten fan, but I'm not impressed with Wisconsin all around. I think they're going to do well, but I just think they're going to falter when it counts. Now, James Madison has been talked with a lot of analysts about them moving forward
Yes.
deep in the tournament. But
deep. I mean, a lot of people have going deep. I don't have them going deep. I have them going to the second round, meeting up with Duke, and then I think Duke is going to beat them.
Who are they playing in the first round?
Who? James Madison?
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Wisconsin beat James Madison.
I don't know.
Just because the physicality I think Wisconsin will bring to the game.
Then where's the other one? What about New Mexico and Clemson?
I think Clemson is going to beat New Mexico, and then Clemson will get beat by Baylor.
I picked New Mexico. And then Dayton and Nevada.
You know, that's a tricky one. And I did 2 brackets.
Oh, the truth comes out.
Well, I did 2 brackets, but
I ain't going to lie. I got like 3 or 4 of them.
This is my main bracket. And with my main bracket, I think Nevada has the capability of beating Dayton.
Yeah. You know, I would have picked Nevada until and I hate when they do this, until I saw the story on Dayton's coach. You know, and they told a story about the loss of his daughter and all of that and what the family is going through with that and dealing with that. And I just feel like, you know, sometimes things like that motivate you and give you a reason for doing things. And
you said that about another team and they ended up losing.
Yeah, that was but it wasn't
this traumatic.
It wasn't this traumatic.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I agree. Because just for those who don't know, the Dayton's coach lost his daughter, I think a couple of years ago to suicide. And, you know, the mental health is a serious matter. And if you know someone or if you're dealing with yourself, please seek help because there are folks out there with the capability to help you get through it or help your loved ones or friends or associates get through it. So, but hopefully that will motivate the team. And the team is Dayton's team is actually good.
Yeah. So what was the other one? I had one section that had a couple of them, and I was really concerned about that. It might not be my main one. Okay, I got another bracket. Let me go to my other bracket because one bracket was looking real
So
crazy.
How many you got?
I said that. I said for
now, did you do the women's bracket?
I haven't done the women's bracket yet.
Okay.
I will do the women's bracket. I can tell you right now, I'm picking South Carolina. I'm going with South Carolina. Let's see. I did one bracket where I had...
Well, I'm glad we were looking at these brackets because I just realized I didn't finish a piece of it.
Okay, this is the one I really like. Now, when I end up with the perfect bracket, y'all, I want y'all to remember, you heard the discussion here first. Okay, this is my final 4 in this bracket. I got UConn, North Carolina.
Is this your main bracket?
No, this isn't my main bracket.
Well, I didn't heard your final 4 in your main bracket.
Yeah, but that one's boring. That's like, okay, so the final 4 in my main bracket is Iowa State, North Carolina, Houston, and Creighton.
Oh, man, that's all off.
No, why you mean that's all off? I think, and then the final game is Iowa State and Houston.
Wow.
Because I think that game was a good game.
Well, I'm going to give you my final 4.
Okay.
UConn, North Carolina, Houston, Creighton.
Okay.
And Creighton and UConn playing for the championship.
No way.
With UConn winning.
That's common. That's everybody's bracket.
No. I guarantee.
So wait a minute. The only difference in your final 4 on that one was you have UConn and I have Iowa State. And then you picked.
Who did you have playing in the championship?
I have Iowa State and Houston.
And I have UConn and Creighton.
And Creighton, yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to your
but I have one
30th bracket.
This one I had UConn, North Carolina, Marquette, and Texas. And then I had North Carolina and Texas in the final game.
Texas. Oh my goodness, you really reaching for the stars. What are they, 7th seed? Yeah. And, Tennessee is going to knock them out.
You think Texas is going to get knocked out by Tennessee?
Yes. Tennessee, they have been playing not up to par the last few games. They actually even lost their ranking and dropped before the end of the season. But I think they're going to step up when it comes to the tournament.
Okay, what about St. Peter's? What do you think about St. Peter's? Like last year...
I don't know much about them.
They went all the way to the Sweet 16 last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Let me look.
Is that what you need? I give you one better.
Not that one.
I know, I was just messing with you.
I can't find it. The cricket one. Oh.
All right.
Maybe it was the year before. But, they've been talking a lot about...
What seed are they this year?
St. Peter's. It says
15th?
15. So in one bracket, I say all that to say, I picked St. Peter's in one bracket over Tennessee. I just wasn't that impressed with Tennessee.
Well, and the fact that this is the first round for an upset like that, I think the odds are real high that it won't happen.
Okay, so McNeese State University is in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Okay.
McNeese State University. And they've been getting a lot of good reviews. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about them. We looked up James Madison, and that is in
Virginia. Correct.
Who was the other one?
You hadn't mentioned them. I don't know if we looked them up because I think I said it was either up near Philly area or New Jersey. Can't remember the school that you had.
Did you pick your school?
I did. Actually, I picked them to win I picked Duquesne to win the first round, but unfortunately, I don't think they'll win the second round.
And you didn't pick Purdue to be in the Final Four?
No, I think Purdue will make it to the Elite Eight and then falter.
What about Kansas?
Kansas.
They gave Kansas City a number 4 seeding.
I think they were doing them a favor.
They did.
Because I just don't see it. Maybe I didn't see enough Kansas games, but I really think Gonzaga beat Kansas out.
Now, did you know when we were watching the Selection Sunday and they said the benefit to being the number 1 seed was that you get to pick your region?
All the number 1 seeds?
All the number 1 seeds get to pick where they play.
That's a good thing because you can pick a sort of easier path. Now, granted, as you move forward, the path gets a little harder, but...
Or at least you get to pick being in your general...
Yeah, you don't have to travel as far.
Yeah, home court.
Because you have the people out west, some of them have to come all the way to the east.
Which is, if you look at it, that's why North Carolina is in the west, Connecticut is in the east, Houston is in the south, Purdue is in the west.
Right.
Or the Midwest.
Right.
I never knew that.
I did not either.
I never knew that. Never paid attention to it.
No.
And, we were always laughing, like, why is North Carolina and them always in...
Or Duke.
Always, yeah. Well, maybe that was why, especially if they were, number 1 seeds.
But when was the last time they were a number 1?
I don't know.
They haven't been a number 1 in a while.
Yeah, but Duke is in the South.
Right.
But because North Carolina had that number 1.
But Duke is playing up in, I think, they're playing in New York. Aren't they playing in New York?
They're in the South bracket.
Okay.
So I hope for all our listeners, know that before you jump to judgment, your number 1 seeds get to pick the regions that they want to play in. I didn't know that. Maybe you guys did, but I learned something on Selection Sunday. I never really paid that much attention before, but I guess now I am actually paying attention. So yeah, that was very informative. And then, we were talking about first in, we finally have a understanding of first out and first in. And there was the invitations have gone out to NIT.
Right.
One went to Pitt, right? And they declined.
Oh, really? I did not know
Yeah, they did. Probably because they say NIT stands for nobody's interested.
that.
The nobody's interested tournament. So that's just a little humor there.
Very little. And but
just joking, NIT.
And that's crazy because the NIT has so much history, and that was the tournament before the NCAA sort of came on the map with everything.
But they declined. They said they posted on.
I would still take a tournament bid, whether it's that or not. That's still bragging rights.
They posted on their Facebook page or Twitter or X, formerly known as, or currently known as X, that they want to focus on the upcoming season. But they said they felt slighted because they were the fifth, like ACC had,
I think they
4 or 5
I think 4 or 5, yeah.
And they were like that 5th or 6th team that did not get an invitation. And so because of that, they were the next ones or the first ones to get that invitation to the NIT, and they declined. But they said that other teams in the past have declined.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't the first to decline. Other teams have declined, but they were the first to decline this year.
Well, let me ask you this. Since you mentioned the number one seeds get to pick where they want to go, who do you think has the easiest path in the tournament as far as the number one seeds?
Oh, that's hard to say. Oh, that's really hard to say.
I don't know. I would say UConn.
You think UConn?
Yes.
I think UConn. I would agree with UConn because North Carolina is probably going to have to face Mississippi State. And I think Mississippi State can beat Michigan State. Hopefully, I picked them. and Mississippi State can be as physical as North Carolina.
Right.
So,
okay.
And then I think Purdue, I think theirs looks pretty easy. And Houston, that's kind of up in the air.
Well, hopefully Houston and some of the other number one seeds don't bow out early.
But maybe we'll know a little bit more by our next episode.
Okay, great. Well, unfortunately, Darcy, this has been a great topic. And as we're talking about it, time just flying, but it's the end of our episode. And so with that, I would like to give you the final words. But before I do that, I want to let everybody know if you have comments or questions, you can email us at memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. Again, memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. And we'll be glad to answer your questions or address your comments.
Get your brackets in. Let's play. And as always, remember, your mate is a reflection of you.